Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Men Save Your Marriage show. My name is Terry. I'm your host. I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and now I use the lessons that I learned to coach other men on how to save their marriage before it fails. I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone would have shared with me before my marriage failed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome back. You are listening to the Men Save Your Marriage show. No judgment, no fluff, just a straight shot of clarity in the middle of your chaos. Today we are introducing a new series that I am calling the Watchtower Series. This is a series where I kind of climb the tower, scan the horizon, sound the alarm, if you will, on things that I am seeing in the men that I am working with and counseling and coaching every day, the marriages that are involved with those men, and just what I'm seeing just in general with friends, with couples, with just things at large. And I'm sounding the alarm about some of these things over this series. Now, these episodes are not soft, and they're not for the passive. They're warnings. They're wake-up calls. And if you're in crisis, you need to consider this your call to arms. You heard the bell during the introduction. You know that means that we are in the ring. You and I are in the ring together fighting for your marriage. So let us go into the Watchtower Series. Today's episode, as we begin, is entitled Watch the Drift. You didn't lose your marriage in a moment. You lost it in inches. Drift is deceptive. It's not violent. It's not loud. It's not even obvious until you look up one day and realize you're not where you thought you were. I want to talk to the man who still believes he has time, to the one who thinks she's just in a mood, or we're just going through a rough patch. Maybe to the man who thinks there's still more runway before this plane goes down. Brothers, let me say this again with no fluff, no fear, and no filter. The drift is already underway. And if you don't watch it, and if you don't check it, and if you don't correct it, you won't lose your wife in a moment. You'll lose her by those small inches in that little drift, by evenings that you spent scrolling instead of being engaged with her, by moments you withheld the truth about what you were thinking or what you were feeling, by weeks you stayed emotionally quiet while she begged for you to speak. Drift is the killer that you never see coming. And today we're calling it out. We're going to dig into this today. So buckle up and hang on and let's go. As always, I'm going to come at you with 3 points. The first one here today, drift starts small, but it never stays small. You didn't wake up one morning with a broken marriage. It started with very small, tiny decisions. Maybe you stopped praying together. Maybe you let exhaustion justify neglect. And I understand that life beats us all up, gentlemen. It's just a part of life, right? There are days that we just get the dog snot beat out of us. I get it. But we can't let exhaustion justify neglect. You gave the kids your full attention, but maybe you gave her just whatever you had left over, if anything at all. You avoided one hard conversation, then another, and then a dozen more. Every one of those things, when you maybe stopped praying together, when you spent an evening scrolling and just letting your mind numb out, when you gave all of your attention to the kids and none to her, maybe when you avoided those hard conversations, every one of those was a little bit more space in that drift. And, if we're honest, the world, the devil, nobody needs a wrecking ball. They just need a little bit of time and men like you who aren't paying attention, and they can destroy a marriage. Just a little bit of drift today will compound tomorrow and the next day and the next day. As many of you may know, I am a former sailor. I'm proud alumni of the United States Navy and a veteran. And in the Navy, they teach sailors about course deviation. If you're off by even 1 degree, you'll miss your target by miles over time, because 1 degree today is nothing. But as you leave this point today and travel for years into your marriage, that 1 little degree has you missing the target by many, many miles. That's how your marriage gets lost. Not by catastrophe, but by neglect. 1 small drift at a time. So here are some signs of drift that most men miss. You touch less, and I mean physical touch, not just sexually. I'm talking about the hand on her back or the hand on her shoulder, that hand that says, I still see you. Conversations become transactional now. What time are the kids' games? How are you feeling? What are we getting for dinner? How's this going to work? It's just transactions. It's just a sales exchange. In this case, it's information, but conversations are all now transactional. And suddenly you find that you stop planning, you stop pursuing her, you are just surviving. Brothers, that's drift. I see it every single day with the thousands of men that I engage with and talk to, that listen to me, that I am coaching. I just see it constantly. And if you let it continue, that drift, an inch today, will become significant distance. And distance becomes disconnect, and disconnect becomes divorce. I hope you see how this 1 small little drift, an inch here and an inch there, can add massive amounts of disconnection between the two of you, which will ultimately lead to divorce. So that, gentlemen, is how drift starts small. But you can understand. I need you to understand that drift can be corrected. That distance between you, that can be corrected. But it can only be corrected. Point number 2, drift can only be corrected by direction. Let me say something bold here. Most marriages aren't broken. They are just unled. They are not being led. And where there is no direction, there will always be drift. So what's the opposite of drift? It's not passion. It's not therapy. It is intentional direction. That is the opposite of drift, intentional direction. It's waking up tomorrow and saying, I may not feel loved, I may not feel strong, but I'm leading this marriage and this family anyway. You need a heading, you need a course, and you need a mission. Because your marriage doesn't need rescue, it needs you leading with calm, consistent presence. You've heard me say this. If you've listened to all of the shows in this, all the Men Save Your Marriage shows, you've heard me say this a bunch of times. You need to show up not with perfection, but with presence. Calm, consistent presence. And here's the hard truth. If you're not leading, the drift is growing. That's the bottom line. There is no ambiguity. You are either leading or your marriage is drifting, period. There's no in between. There's no neutral zone. It is one or the other. Either you're leading or you're drifting. That's it. But how do you reclaim direction? How does this work? Well, I'm going to teach you right now. Three things to do. Number 1, name the destination. In other words, what kind of man are you becoming? What kind of marriage are you fighting for? Where is your marriage headed? Name the destination. We are going to blank. We will grow old blank. We will see success blank. You just fill in the answers. That's what you need. And only you can speak that into your marriage. That is your God-given role, is to lead the marriage. So name the destination. Number 2, make the small, what I call micro moves. In other words, ask yourself an honest question every day. Ask her an honest question every day. Or tonight when you get home, do one small selfless act of love. Or one apology that's not about shame, but about strength. So you're naming the destination and you're making the small detailed moves. You're paying attention to the details. And then number 3, lead quietly, not loudly. You don't need to come in and kick the door open and announce, oh, there's a new plan and I'm the leader and we're going somewhere and I'm going to show up. Don't announce none of that garbage. Just become it. Just do it. Let her feel the shift before she hears about it from you. Allow her a moment to stop and think over the coming days. Something's different. What's going on with him? This doesn't feel the same as it did. Let her feel it before she ever hears it from you. Those are the steps to how you can stop the shift and how you can reclaim direction. Name the destination, make those small micro moves, and then lead quietly, not loudly. Remember, you don't need her permission to lead. You just need to decide to show up and do it. And point number 3, the longer you wait, the faster it all falls apart. This one's critical, and let me speak almost prophetically to you for a moment. If you're listening to this right now, it may be your last warning. This may be the last moment before she checks out emotionally for good. I've coached men for years, and I have talked to thousands of men, and I've watched the same pattern. And listen, you need to hear, I see it when I speak to a group of men in suits in a C-suite about that where they're at personally. I see it when I speak to a church group of men and, different men from different backgrounds with one singular faith. I see it in the men that I coach every day. There is nobody this doesn't affect. And I've coached men for years, and I've watched the same pattern, and here it is. She gets quiet. She stops asking you to change, and she will respond with you with things like, I'm fine, I'm okay, everything's fine. And then you don't know it, and you can't see it, but she is building her exit in silence. And then, and only then, will she drop the bomb. I'm not in love with you anymore. Or, I haven't been happy for years. Or, I think we need a break. I talk to men all the time, and there are a ton of men who've heard these same sentences. And you're going to say something like, well, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you say something? But she did, and that's what I'm here to tell you. She did say something. You just didn't listen. Brother, I'm not here to beat you up, but I am here to wake you up. Because once the drift turns into separation, you're no longer building the marriage. Now you're trying to resurrect it. And that's an entirely different thing. Resurrection takes more than good intentions. It takes fire. It takes clarity. It takes a man willing to lead himself before he tries to lead her. So this is your call to action. If this hits you, especially if this really, as you're listening to this, you're thinking, oh, maybe we haven't talked like we should have in a little while. Or maybe I have heard that I'm fine thing once or twice, or we haven't had a disagreement or an argument. She never brings up the touchy subjects anymore. That means you're not in a great place, guy. That's what that means. So if this is hitting you, if this is landing with you, if you're thinking this through in regards to your marriage, then I want you to do me a favor, okay? If this has helped you at all, I want you to share this or rate it. And if this has moved something deep inside of you, I want you to review it. You don't need to join a group. You don't need to raise your hand. You don't need to do anything other than, here's what I'm asking. Subscribe to the podcast, leave us a 5-star rating, and write a short review. And why? Well, because there's another man out there who's drifting right now too. And your rating may be the thing that helps the algorithm share our show with others, and it may be the very thing that helps him find this message before it's too late in his marriage. So I want you to help feed the algorithm the necessary information that we can reach more men, and you can maybe have a hand in saving another marriage. So please subscribe to the podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and write a review. That helps other men find us, and that helps the algorithm put our show in front of other men. I thank you for that. And now, as we wrap up today, some final words here. I want you to stop waiting for her to tell you what to do. You already know what to do. You know where you've drifted. You know where you've avoided things. You know where you've been passive. So what I want you to do is I want you to act, to course correct. I don't want you to panic. I want you to lead. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. Consistent leading with consistent presence. Start with one move today, not 10, just one simple move. Not a big dramatic gesture either. Just one move that in your mind is saying the drift ends here. That's it. It's very simple. And that's all you need to do today is just make that one simple move to say that the drift ends here. All right. You've been warned. This is the first episode in the Watchtower series, and we're going to be coming at you with 9 more of these I'm looking across marriages, and I'm looking across society, and I'm calling out the things that I see, and I want you to take these as warnings. I want you to take this opportunity to kind of look inward and ask yourself, is this affecting me? If so, how can let me make these course corrections here quickly, okay? So you've been warned. You've been equipped. Now it's time for you to move. Don't wait for permission. Lead her, pursue her, and protect what is yours. The man your marriage needs is already in you. It's time to wake him up. And that's what I'm trying to do here today. If you want direct, no fluff coaching to turn things around, you can text me right now at 812-648-3380. That is a text number only. Again, 812-648-3380. You can text me if you have a question, if you have a comment, or just simply coaching, and I will get you the details, and we'll begin to set the pace for you to save your marriage, and we can do it together. This is Men Save Your Marriage Show. Share this with a brother who's in the fight too. And remember, gentlemen, when she looks at you, she's not hoping for a roommate. She's looking for a man with fire in his chest and a plan in his hand. So don't go silent, don't go soft, and don't disappear. Set your sights, stiffen your back, and lead with presence. That's it for today, gentlemen. I thank you. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. In the meantime, I want you to go out and make it a great day, guys. Take care.